As captain, you see certain players really excel and thrive in that environment. Give us an overview of why you think that is, and maybe some examples when you were captain of some players who really relished and enjoyed that situation, that pressure, that ultimate match play situation.
In 1985, we're in the team room, night before the singles, and Watkins would be about one of the toughest Americans you could pick to play. And Manuel Pinheiro stood up and said, "I want Watkins." And we all looked around and said, "Wow, okay, you can have him." And we put him out first and he beat him 3-2. It was a fantastic performance. That was a classic case of not scared of anybody.
There's been some players that really haven't been what we call great players, but they have thrived on the Ryder Cup stage. You know, of course, you look at the old great players, Nicklaus and Watson, Trevino and Seve, and you look at a guy like maybe Ian Poulter, who comes to mind of recent times, who, boy, he's done well on the Ryder Cup stage.
Yeah, isn't it a lot about the personality, extrovert, like the limelight, Sam?
And desire. It's desire to just get out there and beat the guy you're playing, and self-belief, total self-belief.
Also, just going back to Milano a couple of years ago, really interesting, I thought, with, say, Luke Donald leading the team out. I mean, he's quite, you'll know him well, he's quite outwardly a quiet guy, but he's a obviously tough competitor, former world #1 Steely competitor.
He's a fantastic foursomes player, and he was an ideal person to get out first. Doesn't get flustered, just go out there and do it. And with a game like that, it'll stand up in any competition.
You know, that on that same note, you think of who has been the best player for the last 15, 18 years is Tiger Woods. You know, in my team, he obviously is the leader because he's such a great player, but he's a quiet leader. Where conversely, Seve was the opposite.
Seve was incredible. Best team player ever.
Yes.
Describe Seve in the team room.
Oh, indescribable. He was awesome. He would be there for anyone.
And that's what it's all about.
Describe some of, you've touched on a few there, but some of the best performances. You mentioned Poulter, some of the star players in the Ryder Cup, some of the best individual performances you've seen as captain or when you were playing that you've witnessed in the Ryder Cup.
Well, I always like to go back to Muirfield Village for performances. The three pairings that week, Faldo and Woosnam, Langer and Lyle, and Seve and Ollie, were just incredible. The golf they played that week was just beyond belief. Shooting 10 under par every day, and just incredible.
They had this nucleus of 5 players that were just
as good as anyone.
As good as anyone. And we all have so much in common, trying to play this game and trying to make a Ryder Cup team and trying to be the best we can be. But to watch them play, and they would mesh so well because of a Seve Ballesteros. It was tough from there on out, and it's tough every time we play the matches.
I mean, the Seve, people call it spiritual, you hear the guys talking about it from Medina. How big a factor was the Seve factor?
Oh, it was extraordinary. Yeah, even after he's gone, he was still helping us. But you're asking about individual performances to pick out. It's almost impossible because they get swallowed up in the team environment. A player does great, it's a team that did great, it's not just that player. But Seve and Ollie will always stick out as the greatest Ryder Cup pairing ever.
So what about dream partnerships in the Ryder Cup? Who would be your dream 4-ball and your dream foursomes pairings?
Well, you have to pick Nicklaus in anything you do because he's, the best of all time still, I think. I'm going to go with Arnold and Jack. They were paired together a lot of times back in the day. Whereas when you put Tiger and Phil together, they say it might not be a good pairing, but Jack and Arnie played together and they were unbeatable. And that's in the 4-ball. And then foursomes, how can you go against similar distance, accurate off the tee, tough characters? No. Trevino and Hogan. Two tough competitors, 2 of the best players of all time, arguably the best players of all time. Trevino being the best ball striker that I've ever seen. Hogan was arguably the best ball striker. How do they ever get beat?
Let's start with the European perspective first of all. Just an early look at potentially who could be the standout players, how the team is looking right now, and some of the formations of partnerships we may see.
Well, the team's looking great so far, I think. You always need to look at rookies, and the one rookie that's in is Dubisson, who I think is going to be fantastic. He's great heart, great performance in the match play, likes match play. You've got Martin Keimer, just won the US Open. What a man in your side, the man that held the puck that didn't win the Ryder Cup, but it retained it for us. And he's back in there. Now I think we're looking strong.
Will it be a different look US side?
Well, it possibly could. You know, every year we talk about this. Will the team look the same? Well, they're never going to look the same. And you have to trust in your young players. And I love a young player who's eager to go and eager to play and really wants to do well and show what he has.